want to do a video which will be addressed to Catholics, Anglicans, Methodists, Baptists, Salvation Army, and even those in the Brethren Assembly. I want to ask you a few questions which I want you to be honest about, and you can send me an email or you can respond in the comments that we allow on YouTube. But when was the last time your priest preached on everlasting heaven and the glory of God? Say 25 to 30 minutes long. When was the last time you actually preached from the Word of God that heaven is a real, literal place which goes on forever, and how few people are actually going to be saved, and those who are saved are going to worship Jesus Christ for all of eternity? When was the last time your vicar preached on everlasting hell and quoted, say, 40 verses from both Testaments to prove this tragic and terrifying doctrine? When was the last time your deacon preached on excessive wealth and why it isn't healthy for a Christian to have so much money, and why it's poor for his or her testimony? When was the last time your superintendent preached against ecumenicalism and again used many verses to prove this to be so? When was the last time your superintendent preached on the judgment seat of Christ and why Paul says we persuade man that we must all stand before the judgment seat of Christ, and he even uses the word terror. It is a terrifying thing to stand in the presence of God. Be honest with yourself and ask yourself these questions. When was the last time you actually heard rock solid Bible teaching on any of these subjects? I believe most people go to church primarily because they're lonely. They get tea and coffee, and it's also good to be seen with churchy people. But a New Testament elder, if he's faithful, is known in his community. Why? Well, because his church preaches primarily against sin of alcoholism, gambling, pornography, occultism, any evil you care to name. His church is faithfully preaching against it. How often does your church actually go onto the streets for 2 to 4 hours, at least once a week, and preach the gospel? And how many people go on the street at all? Some of you in mega churches, why not have a rota drawn up? A rota which says 2 people are on the streets every day, 7 days a week, preaching and giving tracts out. The early church were always on the streets preaching, and aren't you glad that they did go out and preach the gospel? I know of churches in this country, and no doubt in your country too, where there's only 2 to 4 people that meet. That isn't a church, that is a dead building. Why not sell that property off and give the money to worthy Christian missions in China and Africa and let them enjoy the benefits of your money? And if these dead people still wish to meet, let them meet in their own homes. Money is important and time is precious, but don't waste it in dead churches. One brother told me not long ago that his church doesn't preach on hell because they're all saved in his church, all 5 of them. You wonder, are they actually saved? But people go to church, I think, also to ease their bad conscience, and it's also something for people to do. It's like a social club, isn't it? The late J. Vernon McGee said that if Jesus Christ came back tomorrow, he probably wouldn't go to your church. And if any of these points I mentioned today have hit a nerve with you, then chances are he's not going to go to your church either. So ship up, shape up, and ship out.